Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dionisi. I'm your host, William. Welcome to Threelos Global. We're here live on Thursday, February 15th. Just got done watching the Olympiacos Ferencváros game. We're going to talk about that a bit today. First, a little bit from Dionisi, who was at the game. Lucky man. Dionisi, can you hear anything right now?
Barely, but
Yeah.
insane today.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
That's the first shout out of today goes to the fans that were in the stadium today. What an atmosphere, man. Unbelievable.
I I don't think there was a seat empty. I
Yeah,
genuinely don't.
that's what we like to see though. Finally fans are back in the stadiums. It's making these games so much more enjoyable. Um and that leads me right into my first thing. I want to talk about this, get it out of the way because it is the one negative thing I have to talk about today. Um Outside of Greece, it is impossible to watch these games. Okay. I was willing to pay money to watch the game today, practically, and I tried. I tried to pay money to watch the game, but I was unable to. And it's a bit difficult in Canada. But regardless, we um, we need to work on this, and that's getting out to other. Um, we need to reach other audiences that aren't in Greece. I feel like that could help us in general, but also I'm an Olympiacos fan and I watch every game that I can. I've watched every game up until now, but today was the one game that I could not watch. And I can't go on to Olympiacos TV because they don't have it. The Zone didn't have it, which is our provider here in Canada. Bet365 didn't have it, which is my plan Z. It's my last resort. Didn't have it. Um, I would love for something to be done. I don't know, Dionisi, if you have any options for me or anyone else who will potentially watch this ever, but in my opinion, something needs to be done about it, and we need an actual provider. I was watching it on Cosmo TV. It was flipping between Sporting, which was nice. As you guys know, I'm a Sporting fan, but they were playing Young Boys. It was no matter. But and then a few other games. I think there was 8 games altogether, flipping through the channels. So 8 games, one channel, absolutely brutal. I saw about 10 minutes of the entire game, so I'm not going to be doing much talking today. Dionisi's voice is absolutely gone, but he's going to do his best. But we're just going to be talking about the game today. We don't have an insane amount of time, but that's the first thing I wanted to bring up right off the bat. Okay, we need to get something done about this because it's frustrating for me as an Olympiacos fan to not be able to watch these games. So again, if anyone has any options for me, open up the comments and let me know. Before we get started, please follow us on all socials, Twitterlos Global. Okay, that's on all socials. We're gonna be talking about some future future endeavors for the channel. I know Dionisi and I were talking about maybe doing a little bit of gaming in terms of Olympiacos as well, which if that's something you guys would be interested in watching on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, let us know. Leave us a comment. Hit me in my inbox. We're always open, willing to talk about other ways we can grow this channel. But yeah, I think that's it for right about now. Dionisi, how are you feeling after this game?
Just gonna emphasize on what you said about the availability of the games as well.
Yes.
Like I, of course, may not have the problem, but I've heard many people that outside of Greece and Europe also that have the problem. And if anyone knows anything, I'm open to be contacted anytime. Like I want to do something to help as well, and we as a collective want to do something to help as well. But yeah, after the game, uh, can't say. Of course, you can't feel bad after a European win, especially a European knockout win. But if you look at it football-wise as well, can't say I saw many negatives today. There are a few exceptions that are getting into, but I saw a plan. That's the first thing I liked a lot. I saw a plan, a clear plan.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. I assumed when Medilibar came in, that he wouldn't be here just to, mess around, because he's a coach. He's the type of coach where he doesn't want his time wasted. He doesn't want to waste resources. He's that type of coach, at least from what I know about him. You probably have more information on him. But to hear that there was a clear game plan, at least any game plan in general would have been better than what we were getting in the past couple months under I'm not going to say his name. So that's good to hear right off the bat. Again, we talked about the atmosphere a bit. We'll get on to that. Who are the standout players today under this new coach?
I feel like I shout him out every time, but Sotiris, man. Especially in the first half, he got subbed off relatively early, actually. Let me check when it was. In the 60-second for Horta. But he was, as always, the only one just showing fight, pure fight. And as I'm glad it was heard, that it was heard around the stadium, most, if not all of the Olympiacos fans believe that it will be a massive mistake if we don't buy him. Aside Sotiris, when you are at the stadium, you learn to appreciate some players more, and that one of those players is definitely Santiago Ese, because you just see all the work he does in the midfield, work that isn't TV favorable, let's say, like the passes he cuts, the passes he finds, the runs, everything. And the last player I'm gonna give props to for now until we get into the starting 11 in general is Francisco Ortega, who, despite me also criticizing him lately, was amazing today. Rodinei is self-evident up to now. Don't have to mention his name.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Rodney is always just an absolute. I don't want to call him a soldier, but um, he's a fighter as well. I wanted to ask you about players who could return to form under this new manager. You just briefly spoke about Ortega, who obviously was not great under Carvajal. Like, there's no denying that, and I think even he would admit it. But this is a new beginning for him. It's a Spanish coach, and from what I saw, he looked pretty good today. And you were saying both of us had criticized him in the past, but is this a new beginning for some players, do you think? Like, is this a moment where we can get certain players back into form?
Aside Ortega, I feel like this is dumb, quote unquote, to mention, but of course, Fortunis in his second starting a bit, if I remember correctly, uh, was incredible as well today. Just this man sees, I mean, across the field passes that I don't think anyone else in the team is able to. Maybe Horta, if that. But the man I have to give props to as well is the man that did replace uh, Soteris, and that's Podence. Absolutely incredible today. Like, may not have done a lot statistically, but you could say that he feels motivated again. That he took shots, he took opportunities. He did all he could, honestly, at least in my opinion.
This kind of, that's funny you talk about Porens and Fortunis, because from what I saw, at least today, It looked like they were back to the Martinez form. You know what I mean? In terms of, it's nice, clean football. Like it's good. We're getting the ball moving. Fortunis is doing as usual. Let me get into the center. I'll switch the play. He's doing things that he was doing under Martinez, which we didn't see under Carvajal. This kind of also seemed like a Martinez win, if that makes sense.
In
I
what
think
way?
that so the way that I want to say that is that we looked pretty comfortable for majority of the game, other than maybe the first little bit. And again, I didn't see all of it, so please do correct me if I'm wrong. Again, thank you to Cosmo.
That offside goal just woke us up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And was it offside? Is my question. It was offside?
As far as I have seen, yes. Yes, it was.
Okay.
This isn't the Greek Super League. It's Europe.
Yeah, I've seen some. I wanna say a nice word. I've seen a bit of discontent from some of the fans in Hungary about that call. Can you see any side where it might have been offside at all?
You mean that it might not have been?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I need, because to be honest, I don't think anyone right after a stadium can have a completely clear mind. But
Right.
even seeing other fans in Greece, I'll also talk about the fans a bit later. But even seeing other fans in Greece saying that it's offside, I mean, that kind of shows you
Right.
almost everything
Yeah.
you need.
Okay. Well, I
But
just wanted to clarify that.
I'll try to find it again, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I just wanted some clarity because, like I said, it was a struggle to watch the game today. Again, thank you, Cosmo. But yeah. So an offside goal in, I think it was a minute into the game, if that. Off a free kick, silly
Kickoff,
giveaway.
set piece, and then the goal. Yes.
Yes, that's right. And that set piece came from what was a very, very, very weak challenge that the fact that he went down, it was astonishing. I couldn't believe it. I was watching the game from the TV, and I'm pretty sure it was offside. Yep, I'd agree with you. At least from what I saw, it looked offside, but we'll move past that for right now. I want to talk next about tactically, the shape, the mentality of the players, stuff like that. I want to talk to you about it. How did it look today in general as a team? How did we look today, in your opinion?
Aside some mishaps or miscommunications from the players, we finally saw more clear, like for the majority of the game, it was a 4-3-3 with maybe some interludes from Fortunis going inside and Masuras, but it was mostly a 4-3-3. And then once Jovetic came on for Carvalho, it turned into more of a 4-4-2 that we were used to under Martinez as well, with Jovetic as the second striker. So it showed that we finally played the game with a purpose. And that's one of the main things I'm very happy about from today.
Well, we've seen a lack of planning and a lack of communication, a lack of a game plan. It's been about 2 years. And today we finally see it under this new coach and under these circumstances in Europe. His first game in charge, guys. Let's keep that in mind today. That was his first game in charge. I'm pretty sure that the Greek coach, the U19 coach, or is the B team coach, he was on the bench today.
The under 19 coach, and I do not think so, but I'm not sure.
He was just signed into the staff of the first team, right?
I think he was offered the
Right.
position, but I think the decision was for him to continue with the under 19s until the summer, so we can see where
Yeah,
this European run will go, and then he will probably join.
right.
I
And that only
think,
makes sense.
yeah, because at least what we had here in Greece, again, maybe completely mistaken, but my info was up to that Medilibar offered him the assistant coach position. Nothing more.
Well, I'm not surprised he offered them because the way that we played in that Orphe game, it was really refreshing, I want to say. Um, we fielded our best 11. We went out there and they played football, and we never looked shaky at all. In this game, it still looked like a very good outing and a great display, a great team display. It looked like we were much more, we had much more cohesion on the field, which is something, again, complete disconnect before. There was a complete disconnect. It was clear as day. But for today, it looked pretty good. I also want to ask about Okabi. Obviously, a beautiful, beautiful play today. Fortunis to Rodine. Rodine crossed it into the box, and a slight mistime by Jovetic, but luckily it snuck past him, and El Kabi was at the back post waiting just for the tap in. And the celebration, you love to see El Kabi with that amount of passion for this club, and it just obviously I've been critical of El Kabi, and I'll take full responsibility for that. But the fire that he was showing after the goal, he just looked so pumped up and so happy to score, especially for our club. How was his performance today in general? Let's forget about the goal. Just in general, how was his play?
Such a weird player. Such a weird player because I've probably been even more of a critic of El Cabi than you have been. Uh, and if you want my totally honest opinion today, he was awful. Aside the goal, he was horrible. He couldn't, like, a specific play comes to mind where he had two defenders behind him and he waited for the ball to bounce so he could control it on the line, and the ball went out because he missed. He fell many times on one-on-ones. He looked off today. I hope, I really hope, because that's the only thing I can massively give El Cabi, that he will always find at least a goal when he's on his day. I hope he gets more confidence, especially given that this was a late winner and a European late winner at that, because he needs confidence. He really does.
You're right. He is kind of a strange topic of conversation in this team. He's not quite the player that you want in the build-up. He's more the type of player that you want pressing, and then you want to get balls in the box to him. He's not as good with his feet. He's more of a finisher, but he's fast and he can press. But I totally understand, because it's hard to say, because he's kind of like, we don't quite understand him fully. He's misunderstood, right? because he scores goals and he's fast, but he's not great on the ball. He's not present in the build-up. He's behind defenders or he's offside, whatever the case is. But for him to still be present in each game because he's scoring these types of goals, does that make him an automatic re-sign at the end of the season too?
As much of maybe an unpopular opinion once again that this may be, if we want to resign El Kabi and resign him as a backup, nowhere near the starting 11, because that's the bad thing. Like you said, he has no hope because he honestly has no hope in the build-up. Like he was getting destroyed today because we tried and tried and tried to play long passes to him, but he was just caught up by the defenders every single time, or by himself, honestly. Also, I just saw the goal again, and even with a calmer mind seeing it straight on, for me, it's still clearly offside.
Well, I didn't think there was much discussion to it anyway, but I guess some of the fans in Hungary are unhappy with the decision, but that's completely expected in football. El Kabi, 100% should not be a starting striker for Olympiacos. I agree. I'm thinking more along the lines of, he's a backup and he can come in and, hit teams on the press and, again, score a late goal, score a goal in general, because he's been doing that so far for us. He went through a couple of dry spells, but yeah, El Kabi, who else impressed you today?
Uh, I wouldn't put El Gabi in the impressed category, like nowhere near. The man that I will also give flowers to after criticizing him massively in the first game, which was against Panathinaikos, because he is one of the shouts for MVP for me is David Carmo. And though he was amazing as well, but I've always been a big advocate for Doi, especially given that he's getting used to a new position. But Carmo just finally feels like we have a no nonsense defender that is not afraid to risk anything to get the ball. Also, I agree with the comment that Ese, criticized by a lot today, didn't have one of his amazing games that he usually does, but he truly did, like I said earlier, he did all the dirty work that was needed today, covering Carvalho, who was Carvalho. No, not much more to say.
Yeah, and we'll jump right into this then. We'll talk about this for right now because Heze, you're right. He wasn't fantastic, at least not from what I saw. And you're agreeing with me, so that must mean he wasn't like his usual self. But it's crazy because even when he doesn't have the best game, he's still one of our best players on the pitch.
And that's with a massive difference from Sean.
Yeah, 100%. And I think about it, and I looked at the lineup, which we're going to get into right now. We'll dive straight into the lineup, and because this has to be talked about. When I saw the lineup today, I could not believe that Carvalho was playing. Could not believe it, especially after Chiquinho's performance on the weekend and how Hezy's been playing, Sotiri's been playing, Podence, Masuras, El Kabi, Fortunis. Who else do we have? There's so many players that could have played instead. Even Jovetic. I'd rate Jovetic over Carvalho, in my opinion. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but I'm just not a big fan of Carvalho. And this game should keep him well away from the first team, I'm assuming, because from what I saw, it was not great. But we've come to expect that. What are your thoughts?
No disrespect to the man I'm comparing him to, but Carvalho just reminded me of the main problem that I had with Oleg when he was here. It was just back pass after back pass. I don't know if he was afraid to move forward. I don't know what's wrong because the guy didn't have defensive duties today. That was clearly Santiago, even if he was covering for the lack of Carvalho stuff. But honestly, he did. He took a shot that was blocked that I gave him that was very good. And I can honestly think of maybe a good uh, lob over the defense. Nothing else.
And as critical as I just was of him, we've seen flashes of quality. We've seen flashes of, potential, but never anything come into full fruition, right?
The
And there's been
potential is long gone.
I think so
On
too.
this one.
I think he's been here for a little bit now, and the fact that we haven't seen that potential fulfilled should say to you that it's time for him to move on. There's other teams that are going to want the guy because, like I said, he's shown quality in the past. He just hasn't shown it for Olympiacos. Maybe this just is not his club. So why don't we just move him on? Why don't we keep Sotiris and Heze as well as Chiquinho? We have Horta. We have those four midfielders are all better than Carvalho and are all in better form. Again, Carvalho's Portuguese. He's a midfielder. Like, this guy should be my favorite player, but he's just not because he hasn't shown it for Olympiacos, which is too bad. I want to move on to someone else. Rodinei. I want to talk about Rodinei because we never talk about Rodinei, and that's because there's never anything to say. He's always our best player. He's always, top of the roster, has to be, because he puts in all the work. He's great on the ball. He advances the ball, but can also play it back if he needs to. He can get out of tight situations. He has to be one of the best players we've had in a long time. What do you think is going to happen with him? Because his contract's done in the next few years. And
that I actually
right?
do not remember.
I think he's got.
To check.
I'm trying to.
I'll check.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just
Maybe
wanted to bring him up.
Year.
Right. Well, like I said, I just wanted to bring him up because he deserves praise. What a player. The fact that we brought him in and he's stuck with us even throughout this dumpster fire that we've been under in the past couple of years, he's stuck with us. Not only that, he's shown heart. He's managed to almost win us games at times with his play and his influence. When's his contract up? Do you know? Sorry.
His contract is up next summer. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's the thing too. He's getting on in age.
Oh, come on. He's 32.
Right? Is he?
He's 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe not. Like, what's going to happen with him? You think we're going to re-sign him as well?
We have to, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Like come on, like surely.
Yeah, surely is right. Yeah.
I don't think there is even a discussion about a player that.
Right. Well,
surely a leader in the locker room as well. Like I think that shows even from today he was guiding players, especially he was a lot of help for Endoy. He's everywhere. I remember he got. Uh, it says a lot when a player is down for maybe even 2 minutes, and the whole stadium just goes silent out of fear. Because if Rodinei did actually get injured today, which honestly I've seen this guy take a beating many times today included and walk out of it like nothing fucking happened. But if this man got injured today, we'd have had a very different result.
Right. No, a different result for sure. And it would affect us in the future. Rodinei is an essential part of this team. And thinking about him and Fortunis and Podence, some of these guys they look like leaders to me. Even Rezos has shown it at times. They've got some leadership qualities. And then we've got squad players, starters, all with quality. It seems like we're pretty deep in most positions right now. It's tough with Europe. We could only add 3 players to the list, and we're missing a few solid ones. But is it what's more realistic for you? Because I was talking about this with my dad, and we were having a conversation, and I don't know what's more realistic to expect. Us making a run in the Greek league, maybe we, move up a couple spots, or is it more realistic to think of us going on a conference league run, or is it neither? Are we not ready for either? What do you think?
Why can't it be both?
Can it be
That's my
both?
question.
Can it? Right.
Depends on, of course, it depends on the conference league draws. Like, let's say, of course, we go to Hungary with the same mindset. I see us, of course, going through, but if we draw like an Aston Villa at the round of 16, yeah, okay. But I'm nowhere near saying that we can win the league. I think that's been out of the window since November. Uh, but I don't see how we cannot finish. Like a lot will, of course, show this Sunday against PAOK how Medilibar goes there and plays because it is a Tumpa with fans, brutal fans.
Right. I have a question for you, real quick. I hate to interrupt. I heard rumors.
Go.
I heard rumors that the PAOK Olympiacos game on Sunday will be postponed. Is there any truth to that,
Mm.
as far as your knowledge?
That just shows the state of the Greek League, and it wasn't rumors. Both we requested it and PAOK agreed, but some teams don't even want to mention, especially one of them disagreed with the game being postponed. We needed 10 yeses and we got 6, so the game will happen normally.
As it should. I don't see why there's any unease about the game on
It's
Sunday.
not an ease, it's focus on Europe. We're acting like the Greek League doesn't need the points from Europe for the coefficient. Like it's not illogical to want to secure a place in Europe next round.
I'm trying to think, man, because okay, we just finished that little era that we had, that little I don't want to call it an era because it sucked. The Greek football in Greece for the last little bit sucked. It was awful to watch. No fans in the
Still,
stadium.
Still does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is there's no atmosphere in the stadium. It looks like we're back in COVID times, right? It sucked watching. I'm sorry, it did. It's the Greek league sucked to watch there for a bit, but now there's finally fans back in the stadium. But sorry, don't want to be pessimistic, but I don't think Conference League is that realistic. Maybe securing Europe by moving up spots in the Greek league is the best shout. That
We
I
didn't say
actually agree
win the
with.
Conference League.
Right,
I
right,
at least didn't mean to win the Conference League.
right.
Like,
But
that
make a
would be
run at least.
a gigantic miracle. But I don't see why the quarters are such a crazy shout. Again,
I don't
depending
think they
on the
are.
draw.
It kind of
all
depends, eh?
it all depends on time and the teams we face, at least in my
Right,
opinion.
right,
But
right.
of course, for this season, actually no. We need to move up one spot because, as things stand, the fourth European ticket gets given to Sensaris and Panetolikos are playing the same semi-final, and one of them goes to the final, even if they don't win the cup, since they are not in the top three, they get the European spot, as far as I remember,
Yeah,
which means fourth doesn't. So we do need to move up the league. That is a
right.
must. But
And I'll tell you right now.
I don't see why Iran is that insane.
Right, right. No, I agree with you 100%. And I want to talk about this quickly because this it could cost us. It could cost us money. It could cost us a place in Europe next year. Um, it could cost us players even. Players might want to leave if we're not in Europe. This could potentially be pretty bad. Because if you
I've
think
said
about
it
it,
before, not making Europe will be an even bigger mess than we were last year.
100%. And you know what, man? We have dropped way too many points to stupid games this year. Way too many points. And we need to win a lot of games this month, next month, the month after
We
that, right
we
up
can't
until
lose
the end of the season.
until the playoffs. At least we can't lose.
But we have to win a derby too. It's not just the small. It's not we're not losing 1-0
Yeah,
to
of course,
Lamia. We're losing
of
4-2
course.
to Bauk. We're losing 2-0 to Panathinaikos. Or we're losing it's every game we're dropping these easy points. We gotta go and we gotta put up a fight. We cannot miss out on Europe. I we had this discussion before, and I'm on the wave right now where we cannot miss Europe because if we do, there's gonna be players gone. There's gonna be a bigger mess than last year. We're going to drop points. We'll probably not be as
F-
strong.
FFP is going to be right on our heads.
Nottingham Forest. Did you see
We're
that?
talking about Everton as well. Again, I think. Uh, so if Premier League clubs, I mean, look at Italy.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
even the
I
Premier
was I
League.
was thinking about it this way, right? If he broke FFP rules with Nottingham, who's to say he hasn't done that with us?
He hasn't yet, but we did have problems. That's
Do we
why
know?
I think we would if he
But this
had.
club is so cagey. They're so
Yeah,
cagey
but
about everything.
we are a Greek Super League club. If we broke FFP, I don't think they would hesitate to give us whatever punishment fit. But
Right.
we did have problems. That's why there were sales like Kichos, Surlis. That's why we had the mass sale like in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a clear out at the beginning of the year. It was just a buy one get one free deal, but
That was one of the
um,
main. The FFP
yeah,
was one of the main reasons for that.
yeah. Well, you know what? It's good that we cleaned that up because let's say we broke
Yeah,
with
of course.
FP rules and we did Nike, we got relegated to like the 4th division or something. You know what I mean? That would have been detrimental, brutal. That would have been awful.
Yeah, of
But
course.
we'll move on. We'll stick to talking about the game today. So much on my mind with this club right now and just all over the place. But we're talking about the lineup. You want to talk about the subs for me? I didn't get to see much
Yeah.
of them. I didn't really get to see them at all. I saw Podence come on. That was about it. Is there anything else
Yeah,
you
of
wanted to say
course.
before we get into that, or
No, we can get into.
yeah?
We'll
Okay.
get back on the lineup if needed either way, but we can get
Yes.
into the subs. Uh, Orta came on, of course, for Alexandropoulos, which was as much as I wanted Alexandropoulos to play for 90. He did have that yellow, so
Mm.
it wasn't worth the risk. And it is shown that Medilibar trusts the kid, and that also gives me hope that he will stay. There will be a deal found and that he will stay. But Orta's quality, especially finding empty spaces and just switching the ball flawlessly, is not everyone can say that. So he was amazing today. Uh, Potential, like you said, and like I said as well, was massively back on form. Uh, Jovetic for Carvalho is the sub you mentioned that you'd prefer, and that's when we completely switched over to a 4-4-2. For me, Jovetic was okay, like he didn't even have time to do much. He almost scored, like you said, but average, like Jovetic has been up to now. And Ibora and El Arabi came on the 90th. Nothing to say. I would have loved El Arabi when Jovetic came on. I would have loved that a lot.
So maybe El Arabi earlier is what you're suggesting. Maybe get another striker in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
here's the thing.
play 4-4-2 with El Arabi. Why Jovetic?
Right. Yeah. No. I rate El Arabi above Jovetic, but again, Jovetic over Carvalho. Um, are
Yeah,
there any
of course.
are there any changes to those subs? Like, would you have rather put like Chiquinho in or one of the other players that we had on the bench?
Honestly, side El Arabi coming on earlier, I don't know what else I would have switched because maybe I'd sub out. Uh, but that's too much. I'd say that I'd sub out Carvalho in the 60th and Alexandropoulos in the 78th, but that's too much of a risk for no reason with the yellow card. So aside El Arabi earlier, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I was listening to an episode of Gate 7 International, and it was right when Medilibar came in, and they were discussing his game management. We had Martinez earlier this year. Wasn't fantastic at managing the game, but definitely not at the level of Carvalho. The subs that Carvalho made were downright just nonsensical, in my opinion. Nonsensical. Some of them.
I think I, of course, haven't seen a lot, but I think that's the worst coach that I've seen after I properly started watching football, which was like 2013, 14, regarding game management. I don't think I've seen worse here.
Then who?
Carvalhal.
Yeah. No,
Maybe, maybe. And that's a bit of a bad throwback. Maybe Besnik has it,
Yeah.
but I think Carvalhal is even worse,
I I
honestly.
I had to go back and take a look at that guy because you brought him up in our group chat not too long ago, and I was like,
Yes, I did.
holy, I don't even remember this guy. And he was only in
The,
charge for what, 5 games?
I think it was a bit more than five. The,
It wasn't long though.
it's them and Oscar Garcia for the competition of worst coach of recent Olympiacos history, honestly.
All right. Well, regardless, today I think this one game was better than the entire stint of Carvalhal in terms of game management.
By far.
Does this give you hope then? Does that give you
Yeah.
hope? Yeah. But is that something sustainable, or was today just he's getting used to the squad? Do you think he's going to change it up and maybe make some changes where we're not fond of, or
First of all, one thing I really liked, which is also a stadium advantage, is to see how involved Medilibar was in the game. Like he was barely on his. I don't know if that's showed on TV, but he was barely sitting down. Like he was up screaming uh, at the players, screaming what they do, what they need to do, what they need to fix. He was very involved, and I don't think we even saw that from Martinez. If I'm being honest.
but it was very like sporadic. He'd be up at times, but he was a very tactical manager, I think. And he was oftentimes consulting with assistant coaches and stuff, but looked great for Mendilibar. So
Speaking about switching it up, he probably will use some. Don't forget, like we have Martins out, we have Rechos out, we have some people that are injured, so they will take their places
and
in the
some
squad eventually.
class players, man. Rezos
Nava
and Martins are two, like, those are contenders for starting spots.
class player. For me, Martins has the spot locked down.
I agree 100%, man. The guy is a beast. He's so fast and so technical. It's lovely to see a player like that at Olympiacos right now.
Even like people like Navarro, people like Cabral who aren't on the list, even Biancon who isn't on the list, like
Big
there is a
mistake.
there is a lot to think about.
Martins, sorry, Navarro should have
Biancon?
been on.
Navarro.
He should have been on the European list because we need a striker, man.
To
That's
be
worrying me.
completely honest with you, I think that getting the two midfield because it was gonna be Martins, Chiquinho, and Carmo. That was the original plan. But given, of course, that Martins got injured, then he would have missed today either way. He added Horta. I think getting as much as many reinforcements in the midfield as we could was a better idea than adding Navarro because with a healthy El Arabi and the Masuras that can also switch and play forward if needed, I don't think Navarro was the priority.
Right. Mm, I, you know what? I can agree with that, and I think that it was smart to bring in midfielders, especially the likes of Chiquinho and Horta, because they've looked good so far, right? Like, I've really enjoyed watching them, especially Chiquinho, man. I did not realize how good, like, Benfica, you guys messed up. Just to let you know.
Benfica messed
Just to
up
let you know.
massively.
This guy can
And
ball.
I really wanna. Of course, this is one of the plans we have, or I personally have. You will see a lot of things on the show aside just the live streams. Like there will be interviews again, there will be articles, there will be gaming, like we mentioned. But uh, where was I going with this? That there is a lot of quality. It's what you said. The squad is feels full finally.
Full of quality though.
Yeah,
That first year where we tanked with the one with Corberan and Jose Inigo took over. Like that,
Michel.
man, oh my goodness, that was a terrible squad, and it was full. Terrible squad. We've changed it completely. It's completely different, this team, and it's full of quality. We just need someone to establish it, kind of touch it up, add a little bit of spice, I guess.
with without wanting to get too far ahead of myself,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think this is our guy.
Sorry.
I think this is our guy. I think Medilibar is the guy
Really?
that I think so. Yeah.
Um. Isn't he Basque?
Hmm?
He's from the Basque region in Spain, right?
That I am not aware. Let me check.
If he is, he's gone in the winter. I think you know what? I think Seven said that too. No, Basque managers. I'm thinking specifically Bilbao, um, who only
Yes,
pull
yes,
from the Basque region.
he's.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking about that because they I don't know what it is about people from that region. But they have a lot of pride. They have a lot of pride in where they're from. I'm not too familiar with that place, but I know that there's been some coaches there before who have ventured outside of Spain in general and haven't been comfortable or haven't enjoyed it. You know,
Yes,
I I
but
I I feel like if he can come in here, be a top team, have resources, have money, have time, and still be a top dog, I think he would love that and he would stay. Otherwise, you might as well start packing your bags. You know what I mean?
yes, but here is my the thing that I don't know if I'd say impressed me. Uh, but here is the thing that leans towards my point. At least that's what I know. Once again, while talking with Marinakis, he right now is on a 4 month deal, and that was his idea. He said that if things don't go well, I'm gone. But if things do go well until the end of the season, I'm more than willing to stay. I think that shows that we're talking about a coach that is ready, that has been through a lot, and that puts trust, puts trust in his projects enough to take the sacrifice and go if it's not for the better of the team.
Right. Okay, well, I'm gonna take back everything I just said. I didn't know those quotes were out. I didn't even know he said that. That's amazing. Because wow. You know what? There's something about the modern game and Spanish coaches, especially ex-players, midfielders. What is going on? Pep, Arteta, what's his name?
Xabi now,
Xabi, yeah.
yeah,
And then, there's other coaches, but I think it's part of the way that the game kind of changed when they were all playing. Hey, that type of era. I'd say even early 2000s. Game kind of changed a
yeah,
bit, huh?
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but I think it's the fact that these coaches and players that were present in football during that era kind of created this game. So right now they're turning over a new leaf and they're becoming these seemingly god managers and god players and sporting directors, all this stuff. So, in terms of modern football, do we have to get to that? Do we have to get to modern football where we're building a team with Medilibar? Is that what you're thinking?
It's best case scenario right now because personally, at least, I can't go through another summer with a new coach. I don't think.
We need to update that stat where it was like, what was it, like 8 managers and 76 players in 2
No,
years?
it's 8 now. That's the problem.
Ooh.
If you count, if you count Silaidopoulos, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's 8 managers now. I mean, 7 isn't much better if you leave him out.
Doesn't that just sound like a promising club to go to, right?
I don't know
And
why he's here, if I'm honest.
but you know what? It could be a great opportunity for a manager. If you were to turn this team into a proper team, imagine the bragging rights you'd have. Anywhere you want, anywhere you can go, anywhere. Anything you want, you will get. If you were to turn this team into a winning team in a short period of hell, in a long period of time at this point, you
Yeah, I think not even Mourinho could turn this around in a short period of time.
maybe, if you think about it, Mourinho's a historic figure in football. And if he came to
For
Olympiacos,
for me, he's if not the best manager of all time, he's top three. But
okay, I'd agree.
if a character if a character like Mourinho came to Greece, I don't know who would be dead first, the president or Mourinho himself.
That would be quite a scenario. I can only imagine what that
Mariakis
unveiling
and
would look like,
Mourinho
huh?
is insane
That
to
would
think about.
the internet would be gone for like a day.
Yeah,
My phone would just be vibrating for 24 hours. Like that would be unbelievable. But
oh, definitely.
yeah, so well we've been through the lineup, we've been through the subs. What do you want to talk about next? You want to talk about like
I
what
want
is
to
the
talk
rest of
about
this?
the fans from Hungary because
Okay.
it got to me. Honestly, it got to
Okay.
me. I don't know if there were Pana fans with them or if they did their research because one, they had banners from Panathinaikos. Two, they were singing chants of Panathinaikos, at least the best they could. And three, they had green flares that they lit up. I don't know if they got out of the stadium alive, but they made, joking aside, just if it was pure banter, like they made noise, they made themselves.
Yeah. That is exactly why fans weren't allowed in the stadium.
Once I
Um
saw the Panathinaikos banner, I was shocked.
yeah, wow. Well, you know what? We are not going to get anywhere in Greek football if we don't somehow reach some common ground on what we're doing here. That's ridiculous what I'm hearing, man. Because okay, listen, if we get banned again, who's going to watch these games again with no teams behind closed doors? Please, guys, do not do anything to stop
they,
fans from coming
I,
to these games.
I hope they won't, but
No, they can't, man. We can't lose
yeah, of course.
revenue like that, and we can't. What we're gonna go back to COVID time football again? We're in 2024. We had fans banned 2023, and we can't have them banned, guys. Listen, stay at your own stadiums, support your team, please. Like, no, I can't deal with the banning crap. Let's
I
get,
don't think
but
it's
let's get football
the
in Greek.
good thing is that it stayed as pure banter.
Good.
Like it stayed as
I like that.
Rival fans, nothing else.
And that's what we are, though. We're
Yeah,
rivals.
of
It's a
course.
derby. We, you know what I mean? My cousin pains me to say this, Panathinaikos fan. But would I ever be like, oh, I'm gonna mess you up? You know what I mean? No way,
Never,
man.
never,
I say,
never.
hey, Panathinaikos sucks. He says, hey, Olympiacos sucks. That's it. If we can keep it at stuff like that, like you said, banter, it's perfect. Because
I
Greek
mean,
football's got quality now, man.
you can spin it positively as well. Like
Of course.
they, especially once the Panathinaikos chants uh, were brought out from them, the stadium fucking exploded in boos. I didn't chance. I don't know. I don't know what was louder: the fans when the banner was shown, or the fans when the goal was scored.
You know what though? That's the thing. Like you can't get that experience if the doors are closed, guys. So please,
Yeah, of
I'm gonna say
course.
this one more time. Don't get banned. That's awesome to see, though. I like when we're able to have a rivalry, but still, it's got some type of decorum. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be.
100%, 100%. That's how it is. That's how it is everywhere. You know, well, most places. Obviously, there's some exceptions, but
Of course.
I think my thing is like there's quality in Greek football, and I want to see it progress. And I if the way to do that is to have a great atmosphere, bring in more money, make Europe do all these things, but we're all kind of we're relaxed more. You know what I mean? In terms of the fans and, the flares, the whatever it is. I just want to see Greek football progress. Right.
I mean, I said it in the West Ham game, which, yeah, today was incredible, but nothing touches how the West Ham atmosphere was. Uh, and I will say it again, I don't get why Greek derbies, especially, can't be like today.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. It was a great atmosphere in there, man. Like I said at the beginning of the show, shout out to everybody who went there. All what? How many people were at that game? Olympiacos fans. Do you know?
Today,
Mm-hmm.
surely around 30, right?
Round of applause for all you guys, including
I-
Dionysi, man.
If
Like
it
he,
wasn't completely sold out, it was surely around
yeah.
30.
Ah, man, that's awesome to see though, because we missed it. We missed it for months. We missed the fans. That's
And
good.
it
That's
will,
awesome to hear that.
especially if we make Europe again, it will continue. Surely it will.
Well, let's keep this form going. Medilibar, keep just blinders. Go forward. No back. No, none of this back garbage. We're not going back anymore. We all want to see this club move forward, and I think we're all at the point where we're very frustrated, and we see some hope in this guy.
We finally have hope.
Yeah, we do. But here's the thing: it's the fact that we actually do. Right? We were kind of uneasy about Martinez and Cordon. Am I wrong? Like we didn't know what to expect at the beginning of the season.
Yes, but it's different when Martinez. No disrespect to Martinez, all the disrespect to Carvalhal, but no disrespect to Martinez, especially because the man has done some wonders in Spain. Can't take that away. But
Yeah.
when the current Europa League holder comes to your club and says, because I don't know if you saw the press like yesterday, I don't know what it was, that he wants to stay and win everything and doesn't see how that isn't a possibility, of course you'll have hope.
Yeah. You know what? 100%. 100%. Because the fact that he's won a European competition before, if you do it
And it's
once,
not
you can
like
do it
it
twice.
was. It's not like it was years ago. It was now.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, if you do it once, you can do it twice. Sure, it's not the same scenario, But let's say he's given a couple of years and he builds a squad and the squad is solid and we get into
Only
Europa or
only time will tell.
conference.
Conference is more realistic.
Yeah, for sure. And that comment earlier about conference
This
league, like
one?
winning it. Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's not I'd say it's unrealistic, but it's not
Now,
completely out of our
now
minds.
it now it's impossible. As time goes on, we'll see.
Right.
Because as much as I don't want to focus on the past, because that's not me as a person in general, I really want
Okay.
about that. If the Olympiacos team of 1920, the one that beat Arsenal, of course,
Right.
played in this conference league, I can only name two teams that would put up a challenge, and those are Aston Villa and Eintracht Frankfurt. No one else. We'd
Not
have won
Frankfurt.
today.
Man, Frankfurt today looked poor.
Yeah.
They looked poor
Aston Villa
today.
for sure. Aston Villa for sure.
Yeah, definitely Aston Villa. Yeah.
We'd have won fucking 4-0 today if it was that team.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well. Yeah. Well, you know, it's unrealistic, but like, let's do what we can. Okay, let's do what we can for
And
the
time
rest
will
of the
tell.
season. You know, yeah, 100%. I feel
It's
like that's what it is right now. It's
surely
a waiting
a
game.
step forward. It's surely a step forward.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, we're about an hour in. Do you want to talk about anything else throughout the game? Because I do want to get to the player ratings and the coaches.
Before we do ratings and MVP and close out, I just want to point out because we haven't talked about it on here. I just want to point out the banner today and what happened the 8th of February, that horrible day that I may not have been alive to see, but my own father was in gate 6 when the gate 7 accident happened. And I just want to pay respects to everyone, of course.
No.
I don't have the names ready. From next year, I do want to take what gate 7 did, like you mentioned before, and I read out the names, but I don't have them ready right now. But I can't skip over that crime that happened.
Yeah. The decorum from the players, like so professional from them. There's not an amount of prayers that you could possibly, you couldn't pray enough for these poor people, poor families. It's sad. But props to the players for that level of professionalism, right?
Of course.
It's a sad moment, and again, they're in our thoughts and prayers, right?
Always.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Let's get into the ratings.
Yeah.
Now that's out of the way.
I'm going to sit back a bit more for this one. Again, thank you to Cosmo for whatever that was, but I'm gonna let you take the reign on this.
Please, someone do get in contact with us if you know absolutely anything or anyone that's responsible.
Yeah.
I'm willing to. We're all willing, but since I'm mostly on the socials in general, I'm willing to get it through to anyone needed to help.
No. I'm sure my personal account's on there too, guys. Free, like.
Yeah. Everyone's is.
Sorry, I had trouble speaking English there.
Yeah, you're fine.
Feel free to send me a DM, especially Instagram. Very active on there, but my personal account's on there. You guys can find it. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just start with the lineup. How we'll see it. Paschalakis for me is made two very good saves. Was just maybe not that much needed today because let me actually check. I have it in front of me. Ferencváros had 3 shots on target. We had 17 shots and 5 were on target. That's a bit concerning. That's not what I thought. But yeah, just pointing that
It's a lot of shots.
Yeah, it is. But I'd give Paschalakis a 7.5. He was very solid when needed today. I don't know if you wanna. Will you step in on any of the rating?
If I got anything to say, I'll just kind
Okay.
of nod
I'll
at
just
you. Yeah,
continue and wait.
yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Uh, about Ortega, I think I said whatever I wanted. I think I don't want to say that he'll find his form in general again that he had at the start of the season, but today was a big, big uh, shining light per se towards that path. So I will give him an 8. Uh, I'll actually land on it, given that he played the full 90. I'll give Carmo the MVP for today, and I'll give him a 9. And though it was the weird place today, I'll give him another 7.5. He was very good for me, but he had to do a lot of runs solely because Carvalho was nowhere. So he had to cover a bit of the CDM position as well. Uh, Now about Rodinei, he was a bit behind Carmo for me, but simply incredible, like always, like you said. Uh, for me, he's an 8.5. Carvalho is a 5. 5. He didn't make any big mistakes. He didn't do anything, but he also didn't make any big mistakes. So I'd say he's a 5.
You think that's why he was chosen for the lineup? Sorry, I'm gonna cut in here. Do you think that's
What do
why
you mean?
Carvalho? Because he's got some sort of I don't want to say stability, but stability to him. He had stability today. It wasn't anything too risky, but it was so safe. You think that's why he was
I
chosen?
think he was chosen to be the transition between the defense and the midfield mostly. So yeah, I think it ties in into that safety that you
Oh,
said.
the transition, I can see that, but why Carvalho?
I agree with you, but I'm trying to find the reason. I
Yeah.
honestly am.
Ah, it's impossible.
Yeah. Esse, as I was saying, I would still give him a 7, like he did work that barely anyone will see. For Tunis, I'll give a 7.5. He was just his average self, which is way above average. Sotiris, solely because of the card and the time he played, I'll also give him a 7.5, but he'd otherwise be my MVP by a long shot. I will say this every time I mention him, and going to the stadium today seeing that others agree is a very big positive that it would be a massive mistake if we don't buy him. Like 4 million at least for me, even though I think we'll negotiate it down to like
It's 4. The bio clause 4.
yes.
Whew. Oh my goodness. Like
I
I will
think
print up the
we'll
contract
negotiate
for
it.
them.
Just
I will print the
same.
contract for them. They have to sign this kid, man. Are you kidding? Yeah.
I think we can get him for even less.
You
I
think so?
honestly do. He does. You'll know better than me, but I don't think he really played that Sporting.
No.
So I don't see
Man,
why.
we have quality midfielders at Sporting. I'll tell you right now. Like he had no spot in the lineup simply because our midfield was like a unstoppable unit. That's the only reason.
So
But
why not?
yeah,
Why no? Why
we
not
have
2
to.
or 2.5?
We have to, man.
Yeah, definitely. Masuras, after the run of games that he's had, of course, his own bad game, but didn't really like him today. So I'll give him a 6. Made some mistake, just losing the ball a lot. Like
He's in the past 3 games, he's looked like himself in one, and that was
Yes,
Osi.
I could argue that that's the rumor about Bochum or the coach or both.
Sorry?
I could argue that that's because of all the rumors going around,
Yeah.
or the coach, or maybe even both.
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, it's yeah.
Moving on to El Cabi, giving El Cabi a 7, even though he scored the winning goal, at least in my eyes, shows a lot. Uh, but I'll give him a 7, yes. Uh, Orta, I'd give a 7.5 solely because he had like 30 minutes and he was one of the best players out there.
I got something to
Yes,
say about him, man. He
go on,
looks
go.
quality.
He
That
looks
guy looks
amazing.
really good on the ball, man. Like his vision and the way he just kind of, it was almost like putting on a glove the way he walked into the game. It
Yes,
just slid right onto his hand, and he just like it fit. You know what I mean?
it fit
Like
perfectly. It didn't just fit.
yeah. Oh yeah. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Potentially, I'll also put in the 7.5 category because he is finding form again, which I'm very happy about. But he needs to be a starter to fully show himself. He can't be benched. About Jovetic, I'll give a 6.5 because he wasn't bad, but he wasn't anything above like average for me at least. And I don't think you can really. Now I'm having trouble with English. I don't think you can really rate Ibora and Larabi in
No.
2 minutes of play time.
No. It's so funny, Jovetic, because like I look at him and I'm like, there's a player in there. Where the heck is it? You know what I mean?
He, yeah,
He's
but
so smart.
he's a 9. No, he's a second striker, and we don't do that.
No. But
He
he's
doesn't
such a
fit here.
smart player, man. You can see it when he's on the pitch.
Quality wise, I mean, there was a point. I think it was him because it was on the opposite corner of the field that Paschalakis had the ball and he was screaming at him, showing Ortega, who was completely empty, and he kept screaming for like a minute and a half before
Yeah.
Paschalakis saw him. Like he has the mind, but
Mm-hmm.
he sadly, I don't think he has the body for it.
It's the execution, right? It's
Yeah,
all about the cadence, and it's just not there. Just
yeah,
unfortunate,
yeah.
but
Uh, and closing off at least for me, because I don't know if you want to mention at least the MVP for you. I give Medilibar an A, not an A plus, solely because I don't understand why he started Carvalho over Horta or Chiquinho.
yeah. I also I wanted to say this as well because this was, I don't want to be negative. Um, is it kind of nerve-wracking for you that we only scored once and it came late in the game? Is that nerve-wracking for you, or do you still feel
N-
comfortable?
No, because that's only down to El Cabi being incompetent to score more than one. Because we played him through like seven
Yeah.
times, but he failed to score a six.
But what can we do about that? Who's to say it's
In,
not going to be the same next game?
uh, I mean, we scored, so next game we can be as defensive as we want. I'd hope
Is that
from
what we
next
want to see,
round.
though?
You know what? If it means qualification, I know he won't be because I know he'll find the plan. Maybe even Jovic will start. Maybe
Right.
Masuras will play up top. But even if we resorted to defense, if it means qualifying for the round of 16 in the year we are in, I take it.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. No,
And from the
I don't
next
even think
round
I've.
on, I'd hope he puts Navarro.
Yeah, yeah. No, I honestly I can't find anything to disagree with you on that one. Yeah, that's valid. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about in terms of the game?
That the next, in terms of this game, no, I think we said
Yeah,
everything.
good. Okay.
But the next two games will show a lot about how the season will go.
Yeah,
Today was amazing. Was an amazing start. But the next two games will be the confirmation of everything.
yeah. It's a tough run of games here.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
doable.
bittersweet that we're out of the cup. But I think in the situation we're in, it may even prove to be positive.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. The fact that we can focus on these games and not worry about the cup, I think, is really nice. Honestly, I think I like that better. Just simple.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect a cutoff. But yeah, I'll continue what I was saying until we'll hopefully be back. But as we were closing off, I just wanna say that we will be doing shows for the next two games, especially the second leg of the conference league. But yeah, closing off, I want to see if I have any updates from Will suddenly disappearing. Uh, he's back again.
What in the world just happened?
What happened?
Holy crap!
I was
I just went
caught very
interstellar,
off
man.
guard.
Yeah, yeah. No, man. I just holy crap.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
interesting. All right. Well, I know there's a few things that we got going on behind the scenes, Dionisi. Like I know I discussed earlier about possibly gaming in the world of Olympiacos. I love to game in general. That's just me.
Yeah, same.
Especially with EAFC and Football Manager. If you guys would like to see some content in terms of Olympiacos on those platforms, I'd be open to doing something like that. I know we also wanted to get into interviews.
There
You
is
wanted to do
a
some live
lot
interviews,
coming.
huh?
I'll work on that in the future as well.
Yeah,
But
it's a
there is
great
a lot
idea.
coming.
Yeah.
There is a lot coming. I can promise that.
Hmm.
As soon as these 2 weeks pass for me, there is a lot coming.
Yeah. Very, very promising. We really want to expand this channel and we want to grow. We want to fix those things too because Thrilos Global, it's in the name, right? We're global. We want everybody to be involved, and it's tough when people like myself from Canada cannot watch the games, right? We want to fix stuff like that so that
We'll
we're
work
not the
on
only.
it.
You know what I mean? There's so many things that we wanna add to this community of red and white, right? So,
And of course,
please,
we're not alone on this.
no,
Like there are people like Get7 who are doing a lot of work. There is
no,
many other shows working on
yeah.
expanding the Olympiacos brand in general.
Mhm. And shout out to every single one of them because there are some
Of course.
amazing pages in this community. The first one that comes into my head is Oli Edits.
He's
Wow, those are amazing edits. Please follow him on Instagram and TikTok because he is absolutely incredible at what he does.
I can
So
also promise that uh, some interviews won't solely be footballer.
right,
There
yeah,
is a big page on Insta that we will attempt to get for an interview that I'm sure everyone who I'm talking about.
yeah. So like I said, guys, stay tuned. We got tons coming in the near future. It says at the bottom of your screen right there. Follow us on all socials. Trilos
Gonna
Global. Okay.
gonna be a very promising fall.
Yes. Yeah, we got tons
And
coming, and we want to give back. So let's do it.
wrapping up because you have to go and I have to sleep because I'm exhausted. Uh,
Do you do that?
I think y- y- you should take like 5 minutes, how long you have to talk about what you had told me that you're starting to do.
Yeah. Well, I just want to chat because I'm gonna start getting into some coaching here in Canada. Nothing set in stone, but I do want to get my coaching license because you need one here in Canada. I want to go do some schooling as well. So if you guys want updates, if you guys want to if you guys want to take this journey with me, you know what I mean? Like I'm more than willing to give out some information or whatever the case is. Just let me know. Like I said, I'm on Instagram. I'm on practically every platform. You just got to find me. I'm connected to the Trilos Global account, so you can find me on there. Just let me know because I'm gonna be working on that for the next, hopefully, starts about May-ish. So yeah, should be exciting, and yeah, we're excited to share all this stuff with you guys though. So yeah, please let us know. Denisi, we wrapping up. I think we're ready, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're fine.
Yeah. This you have no voice, eh?
Nah,
Yeah. Eardrums are shot. Yeah. Nothing like an Olympiacos game, guys. We can only go up from here for sure. Right. From where we were earlier, we can only go up. So keep a
from where we
positive
were
mind.
earlier, it seems like a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That's the thing. We got to stay positive. I try not to be negative, but obviously I'm going to come across that way. I am Greek after all. So regardless, guys, have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Take care.